Hello and welcome to another update video on Solana. So we see the bounce from our zone, and I want to only take a look at the shorter time frame in this video. Now, you will see that on this chart we have a 5-wave decline into a support zone. Now, we've already marked the zone a few days ago here between $173 and $199 together in this video, because the assumption was that we get a reaction there. We have now seen a reaction. You might remember that we talked about the oversold nature of the Solana chart. Maybe some of you even used this signal, to enter a position maybe, even if just for this corrective bounce, because, yep, we were oversold on the 4-hour time frame. Not anymore, okay? So that train has left the station. But we talked about it, right, over the last few days, so if you paid attention, which you probably did, if you watched the videos every day, then you knew that a bounce was expected from this area around the 61.8 retracement and the trend line and generally this box after a 5-wave move down. Now, I want to take the opportunity to answer a question because one of our members asked in our community chat on Discord about this 5-wave move down, and it's a great question. So I want to take the opportunity to break it down together for you. So what was the question? The question was about, well, we have a 5-wave move down. Isn't that a confirmation for a bearish trend? But why am I still looking for higher prices, at least medium term? It's a complex answer, I think. So first of all, we always work with a bullish and a bearish scenario, okay? So, you know, we're not working with guarantees. We're working with dynamic probabilities and always at least one bullish and one bearish scenario, and then you have a pivot in between that helps us distinguish between these two scenarios, okay? Now, what we have on this chart is indeed a 5-wave decline. So with a 5-wave move down, we have to be at least cautious. Obviously, any wave count starts on the larger time frame, so context is everything. So just because we see a 5-wave move down, that's not necessarily bearish. We have to consider the larger time frame, and I actually didn't want to do that, but let's move to the larger time frame. We have a larger time frame scenario in which we can still watch for higher prices. I seem to have accidentally deleted this A, B, C structure here. But because there is still a larger time frame bullish scenario, and there is a support area that keeps the bullish count alive, I'm not going to be bearish, as such, and assume that we have a major top just because we have a 5-wave move down, because this 5-wave move down is holding support, so it's a 5-wave move down into support. It's not a 5-wave move down that breaks below support. It's a question. The first thing is it's a question of the size of that 5-wave move. Because if this happens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it's broken, right? And then we have 5 waves below support. With a 5-wave move into support, it could just be the A wave of the B wave. Now we get a B wave bounce and a C wave down, right? So we have to see if this 5-wave move down turns into a larger 5-wave move or just a 3-wave move. What I have said, however, about this is that, yep, the 5-wave move down is a warning, which is already why I added the orange scenario, which actually indicates a major top could have formed, but I guess it's also about understanding what Bitcoin is doing. I'd be probably more bearish here had Bitcoin confirmed a major top. It hasn't, and also, typically Q4, and again, that's just based on what happened before, that doesn't need to happen again, so we have to take that with a pinch of salt. We always have to pay attention to price action, support, invalidation points, but looking at the past, Q4 has historically been quite bullish for altcoins and the crypto sector in at least October, November. So I'm not going to get bearish just because we have a pullback. Like everybody gets bearish in Rectember, and then October is is typically bullish. But I mean, it could be different this year. You know, that's why we always focus on the present. But that's why I keep a bullish outlook as long as the market still, let's say, makes it reasonable for me to do so. Yeah, it's still plausible. But bear in mind, there is also a bearish scenario. And if we start to break below 173, that's my line in the sand. Told you it will get very, very problematic for the bulls. However, look, we have a 5-wave move down into support. Again, we're holding support. And again, I could be wrong about this. I mean, maybe this is 3 waves and it just looks like 5. Could be the case, okay? It's an altcoin. Sometimes we get false signals. Also that, yeah? That's why we rely more on levels as well. Sometimes you get very impulsive looking B waves in crypto. So for now, I still maintain, yeah, a bullish outlook. But because of that potential 5-wave move down, I'm at least expecting a broader ABC like this, okay? If the B wave is high, that would add weight to the bullish thesis, because then the probabilities that this C wave down holds support increase. In addition to that, we were very much oversold, so it made sense also in the very short term to expect a bullish reaction here, which kind of is playing out right now. Okay, so hopefully that answers the question. I know many members asked that question over the last few weeks, and I replied in the chat, but can make sense to break it down in the video for all of you. So at the moment, in the very short term, we do have that reaction we were watching for, and it looks like a 5-wave move up. It does look like that. Actually not yet. Actually not. Visually, maybe. Yeah, no, it's not 5 up yet. Maybe. Yeah, anyway, I view it anyway only as an A wave. Once we have a local top, I'll add support for the B wave, and then we could move higher. The higher it goes directly, the more it adds weight to my still bullish thesis. So yeah, that's the update on Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in additional updates, make sure you check out our membership options. If you want to ask questions, you can do that on our Discord server. There's a questions section as well. We can also always break down things together in the live streams. Every Sunday we run the member live stream. So if you want to join MCO, check it out. Also, feel free to follow us on X. Yeah, there are additional updates there, news updates, charts. I'll put the link in the description and in the comment section. I wish you a great weekend. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.